Hi, I'm Wenxin Gao, and I'm creating this video to help further explain the 12 principles of animation that we are focusing on this semester. In their 1981 book, The Illusion of Life, Disney animators Ollie Johnston and Frank Thomas introduced the 12 principles of animation. The 12 principles have now become widely recognized as a theoretical base for all artists working on animated video production. I will talk about these principles in turn and why and how these principles relate to my own works in this term. 1. Staging. Staging is one of the most overlooked principles. It directs the audience attention toward the most important elements in a scene in a way that effectively advances the story. In my weeknights practice, the video gives audience a good sense about the characters is jumping over a gap and landing. 2. Appeal. Characters, objects, and the world in which they live need to appeal to the viewer. This includes having an easy-to-read design, solid drawing, and a personality. There is no formula for getting this right, but it starts with strong character development and being able to tell the story through the art of animation. In my week 1's practice, my 3 characters need to show their different emotions through their action. In my week 12 practice, the character also need to show the personality of Pink Panther by walking. 3. Timing. Timing is about where on the timeline you put each frame of action. The exercise in week 2 is a very good example. At the top of each bounce, the balls are packed closer together. That is because the ball is slowing down as it reaches the peak of the bounce. As the ball falls from its picket and accelerates, the spacing starts becoming wider. Weeknights exercise also has timing principles, which reflected in the characters taking off and landing. 4. Ease in and ease out. The pendulum is a good way to understand this principle. When the pendulum is at both ends, the speed will be slower. When it falls to the middle, the speed will get faster. The ease in, ease out technique works to make the action more fluid and realistic. This principle is also reflected in the practice of week 7, when character leaves the ball. Weeknights exercise has ease in and ease out in the characters taking off and landing as well. 5. Moving holds. Moving holds is the slight bit of motion a character has while they are in a pose. The need of moving holds in CG animation is vital due to the fact that a CG character just feels absolutely dead and lifeless the moment it stops moving. In my week 3's exercise, slow turning shows this principle. 6. Squash and stretch. Squash and stretch is the most fundamental principle. Week 2's exercise is the easiest exercise that can show this principle. The force of the motion squashes the ball flat, but because an object needs to maintain its volume, it also widens on impact. Week 9 and week 12 also have this principle on character's body that make it more energetic. 7. Anticipation. Anticipation is the preparation for the main action. In week 9's exercise, character bends his knees in anticipation of what's about to happen and springs into action by jumping from the ground up into the air. 8. Exaggeration. Exaggeration presents a character's features and actions in an extreme form for comedy or dramatic effects. This can include distortion in facial features, body types, and expressions, but also the character's movement. Exaggeration is a great way for an animator to increase the appeal of a character and enhance the storytelling. Compare between week 8 and week 9's exercise. Week 9 is more exaggeration because there is squash and stretch on the character's body and his movement is in extreme form. 9. Arts. Arts operate along a curved trajectory that adds the illusion of life to an animated object in action. Without arts, your animation will be stiff and mechanical. Week 4's exercise show arts when the ball is jumping over the gap. 10. Overlapping action. Overlapping action is when objects come to a standstill after being in motion. Different parts of the object will stop at different rates. The movement in week 5 exercise can be shown very clear that the tail's movement rate is different from the object's. In week 9 exercise, characters' hands also have overlapping action. 11. Drag and follow through. The drag and follow through principle argues that when a character is in action and stops, nothing stops all at once. Week 5's exercise can reflect this principle very well. 12. Secondary action. Secondary action are gestures that support the main action to add more dimension to a character animation. They can give more personality and insight to what the character is doing or thinking. Week 10's exercise is about character idol with a secondary action, which fully shows this principle. Thank you for watching.